أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهداه إلى يوم الدين. Amma ba'd. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to the House of Dua, the platform from which we learn all about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His message, His creation, and His chosen religion known as Islam. This is the channel from which we learn how to reach out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for solutions to our needs, our fears, and our aspirations. And this is the channel from which we learn how to succeed in the world we live now and in the Akhirah. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, this is the channel from which your solution for life is available. Therefore, continue to link up with us and watch our programs. In this channel, we have come to you with several verses of the Quran, revealed to mankind, especially to those of us who are believers, guiding us on how to live good life in this world and return back to Allah for a better life. These are the verses we are bringing to you, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, and I hope you are paying attention. Today, we are bringing you verse 1 of Surah An-Nisa, together with other connecting verses of the Quran, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us of the need for us to live happily together as a family, to live happily with those with whom you share a common womb, those who are related to you by blood. Yes, this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to learn. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, yes, one of the sources of anxiety and difficulty for us in today's world is the fact that many of us have no good relationship with our kith and kins. We are not having difficulties because we don't have money. We are not having difficulties because we don't have a job. We are not having difficulties because we are not healthy. But many of us have difficulty because there is no smooth relationship between them and those who share common blood with them. So there is anxiety all the time. They go to bed, they are not able to sleep. They are not able to have peace of mind either. Their high blood pressure is out there. Why? Because they have no good relationship with their kith and kins. This is a very serious problem. Some people go to the extent of being psychiatric about it. They develop mental problems because of relationship between them and their kith and kins that is not in good condition. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, without doubt, there are families in the world that live in love and cohesion. They help one another out. They assist one another. They are mutually beneficial to one another. There's no doubt about that. But a great number of families in the world are at war, actually. They are at war, either a cold war or an overt war, resulting in a situation in which they are aliens to one another. They are opposed to one another. They even go as far as taking steps to destroy one another. Astaghfirullah. There are some families like that. But it has not always been so. Why is this so now? Because some other members of other families have come into the family either through marriage or through any other means. Before a man or woman gets married, that man or woman was best related with his parents and his siblings. Your closest partners and friends are your parents and your siblings prior to marriage. But as soon as marriage takes place, then of course, that relationship is displaced. Your closest person becomes your spouse, your wife, or your husband. And when children come in, then that's another displacement. Your wife, your children become your closest relationship. But many people are not aware of this. And so they get angry when they are not able to have access to their relation as they used to have before. After marriage, they find that it's difficult for them now to get access to their brother or their sister. Who do they blame? They blame the husband or the wife. When he or she had not gotten married, we didn't suffer this. It's not even helping us anymore. It's not sending us money from abroad anymore. Why? Because his wife or her husband tell her not to do that. These are just wrong blames, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. These are the things that give us sleepless nights. Another reason why we have bad relationship among kith and kins is there are some, when they come into marriage, they come with a purpose of driving a wedge between their spouse and his or her siblings. Yes, they do so. Why? Because they want to be in charge. They want to make sure there's nothing like what they call family interference. And so they virtually lock up their spouse around themselves, not allowing access to anybody else. In response, the family members will cry foul. They will not be happy. And that's a source of major problem in today's life. Another reason may be income or livelihood differential. Among brothers and sisters, one may be doing better financially or otherwise, but instead of the others to rally around that person and wish well for him or her and ask for Allah to grant them similar favor, they become jealous. They turn against the person. This is one of the sources of family instabilities. But this is not how it's supposed to be, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. That's why we are bringing you these verses today. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "What is al-qurba haqqo?" Give your family members their due rights. Honor them, respect them, help them out, and let them help you and honor you and respect you too. That's how it's supposed to be. In Surah At-Tahrim, Allah says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara wa quduha nasun wal hijara. Oh, you have believed, save yourself and save your family from the hellfire that is going to be fueled with men and stones. Yeah, that fire is already here because of our bad relationship with one another. Save yourself from that fire, because a greater fire is waiting for you on the day of accountability if you don't change your way. This is the reality of the situation, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. That's why we are bringing you these verses. In Surah Al-Hujurat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ أَخَوَيْكُمْ وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, set right, reconcile the relationship between you and your brothers and sisters, your kith and kins. Yeah, keep your relationship with them. Don't worry about it. And in Surah Al-Anfal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأَصْلِحُوا ذَاتَ بَيْنِكُمْ. Make sure you set right the affairs between you and those who share common blood with you. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, this is very important. But in verse 1 of Surah An-Nisa, Allah breaks it down. Ya ayyuhan nas, taqu rabbakum allazi khalaqakum min nafsin wahida wa khalaqa minha zawjaha wa batta minhuma rijalan katiran wa nisaa wa taqullaha allazi tasaaluna bihi wal arham inna Allaha kana alaykum raqiba. O you mankind, be mindful of your guardian Lord who created you. Who created you out of a single soul, Adam alayhi salam, and out of Adam, created a partner for him, his wife Hawa alayhi salam. And out of both of them, raised countless men and women like you and I to live on this planet. Be mindful of Allah. It is through Him you seek your mutual rights. Yes, all those rights that you claim, it's Allah that grants you those rights. First of all, what we call fundamental human rights. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, fear Allah. Also, be conscious of that womb that bears you. And any other person that is connected to that womb, make sure you honor the person. It's part of the commandment for you to honor your family members. Inna Allah kana alaykum raqiba. Allah is over there watching over you. He will hold you to account. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, this is all embracing. We are expected to keep our relationship. That's why the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, the hadith narrated by Jubayr bin Mut'im, the Prophet says, Al-Katim la yadkhulul jannah. The one who severs family relationship will not enter Jannah. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, the Prophet also advised us to make sure if there is a disagreement between us as family members, we should not live with it for more than 3 days without reconciling. Yeah, so that we'll be happy together. But that reconciliation is becoming more and more difficult nowadays. Why? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Yeah, you cannot reconcile with an unwilling partner. You cannot reconcile with an intransigent somebody, a cantankerous human being who does not want to see goodness in you. That's the problem. There are people who deliberately set their step on your head, on your neck. They know they are wrong, but they are not willing to say, I'm sorry. They are so egotistic that they don't want to come down and say, you know what? I made a mistake. Forgive me. Those are the people who will tread the path of Fir'aun. Fir'aun's refusal to say, I'm sorry to Allah, led to his destruction. Whereas Adam's readiness, preparedness, and humility to tell Allah, I'm sorry, that was what saved Adam, alayhi salam. May Allah grant us the heart to be able to say, I'm sorry to those whom we wrong. Yeah, many families are torn apart today because there are some people who think that when they hurt you, the only solution is to walk away. It's to estrange you. It's to not communicate with you. There are others who believe that, well, time will take care of the situation. It will be all right. It will be all right. No, it cannot be all right. You started it. You have to learn how to end it. The problem with many of us nowadays is we know how to start trouble, but we don't know how to end it. This is why you see family members being torn apart in the world we live now. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, we ask Allah to bring peace to our individual families. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take shaitan away from our life and take our life far away from shaitan. That's why these verses are very important, especially verse 1 of Surah An-Nisa. Ya ayyuhan nas taqu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum min nafsin wahida وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. We seek refuge in Allah. We ask Him to forgive our mistakes. We ask Him to keep us together as happy family. Take shaitan away from our lives and take our life far away from the shaitan. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Alhamdulillah.